Welcome. So happy that you are here. Today we're talking about, is your ego hurting your relationships? We don't often think about the ego, but it plays a big part in all of our lives. And it's a huge advantage to understand it better. This is the stuff we don't really reflect on, and it's kind of for a good reason, because by and large, it shows up as an unconscious reaction. When we get triggered, we're not even aware of it, and since getting triggered, that can happen in relationships from time to time, haha, let's take a deeper look at what can help. So first of all, what is the ego? We're not born with an ego. It develops to help support and protect you when your reality is challenging, confusing, or giving you mixed messages. Like that's kind of the case for every little toddler out there, let's say. So there are stories and there are habits that your ego has created over time with the intention of protecting you. So as children, we all need love in order to be taken care of, to literally survive. We know that babies need love in order to survive and naturally to thrive. So imagine a little kid saying, Mom or Dad loses their temper a lot. I better lay low so they don't take it out on me. Or, Mom is always sad. If I make her laugh or help her, she'll cuddle with me. These are all things that the ego wants to step in and do something to help. So holistic psychologist Nicole LaPera, who is an expert in this field, explains, your ego develops to protect you from your reality. It creates an identity for you to cope with any confusion, disconnection, and loss of love that you experienced. It strengthens an identity to ensure to the best of your ability that we can still receive whatever love is available. Sounds good, right? The ego is protecting us with stories and beliefs that have been designed to help. You keep it in, that's what people do, or blow up, another reaction, because you are replaying an old ego-related story. So the ego comes up with all these stories, and there are so many that we can't even remember all of them, but it could be like, I feel diminished, people don't value me, or people are taking advantage of me, or I'll never be enough. It goes on and on and on. And we all have a bunch of them. So your ego protector feels this and sees this and rises to defend its territory, which happens to be you. So in schools and often in life, we have not learned how to skillfully express our emotions. So we end up either throwing them at someone else or turning them inward and blaming ourselves. But the good news is that we can learn how to work with our emotions instead of being triggered by them. And I go into this deeply in my latest book, Emotional Advantage, Embracing All Your Feelings to Create a Life You Love. If you haven't read it, this will open up this whole topic for you. It is a huge topic. But for today, let us concentrate on what happens when you start to change and the old stories and beliefs which once protected you are now keeping you from growing into who you are becoming. So what are the clues to whether your relationship is expressing ego love on one side, which is the old protective kind of reaction, or authentic love? Ask yourself, how can I move into, and I'm going to describe right now, 3 zones And you want to know how you can move into those. So the first zone is the be yourself zone. So if someone loves you with, let's go with the ego love first, that's based on usually how you make them feel. You satisfy their needs, so they love you, right? It's a bit conditional, and we're often not aware of it. So you make them feel good, look good, laugh, so many ways. And that might be a start, but it's not the whole potential in relationships. Authentic love, on the other side, honors that you both have jobs, and your job is to discover who you are as human beings. It appreciates that you both need to make choices to help you get past your stories that the ego has created. And we all come into relationships with our stories, right? That are, designed and architected by our egos in early life. But authentic love knows that it's a process, to get through these stories. And it supports you in both, it supports you both, I should say, in meeting your needs. So we want both people to meet their needs. So, I invite you to think of what is a situation when maybe you felt like your partner you've helped them meet their needs, but yours were not met. That's on one hand. And on the other hand, what is a situation when you and your partner have met both your needs? And that's, the ones that leave you feeling seen and listened to and all of that. And that's what we're striving for. Next zone is called the no fix zone. So I have some girlfriends who were dating, well, one girlfriend in particular who was dating a new guy. And she was like, oh, he's pretty nice, but oh my God, the way he dresses. Oh my God, I got to fix that. I got to fix that. I got to get in and fix it, So if someone is trying to fix you or control you in more extreme, or if you are trying to change them, that's ego love. You are trying to have them fit a picture of what you would want in order to feel whole, in order to feel safe, in order that your ego stories that you've constructed over time are fulfilled. That's ego love. In contrast, authentic love honors their or your quirks, authentic expression, and freedom. Your partner is not trying to mold you, and you are not trying to change them. You can celebrate your differences and live and let live. So let's give a perfect example of this. Let's say there is a couple with different political views. And this is a situation that has come about and is coming about again. And that can escalate and become really like a wedge between them. So when you enter a no fix zone, that's a perfect way kind of to navigate this situation. You're not trying to fix them. You're not trying to change their perspectives. They're allowed to think what they think, Next is the no tantrum zone. So if somebody is projecting their unhealed traumas from childhood and their fears onto you and taking tantrums, which can happen, that's ego love. That's coming from the ego's old stories that are generated by fears and so on. And sometimes, this partner will run away from a difficult conversation because that challenges the ego. right? And the ego does not want to be challenged. It wants things to go same as always. But authentic love on the other side allows people to own their crap, and everyone's got some, and to be big enough to recognize that's a story that's coming up. Ah, that that's the way I know that triggers my fears. Okay, that's my story. And then talk about it. And when necessary, create healthy boundaries. For example, it's okay to express how you're feeling. That's fine. But it's not okay to try and force your point of view or yell or throw things around. Hello, boundaries needed right now, right? So authentic love blossoms when it feels safe to be vulnerable with one another and to have real conversations. So real conversations actually bring you closer together. And even if you are at different points, you have different perspectives, everybody wants to be seen. Everyone wants to be heard. Everyone wants to be recognized as important, you know? Um, and when that doesn't occur, that's when the boundaries can come up as a situation. So, what is one boundary that you would like to make to improve your relationships? And the good thing is, it's not a bad thing or a scary thing or necessarily coming from anger. It just can come from awareness. When you say, hey, this is not working. Okay, what can I do to improve things? And that's where a boundary can come into place, even with a very cool head. Let's try this. Let's, and so on. The main point that I want to make, and what I am so excited about in this topic, is that even though the ego was born to help with, childhood difficulties, childhood traumas, even to come to your rescue, and be a protector. That's a very nice thing. But we know that as you become more aware, those old stories that it is protecting are becoming, they're changing, they're becoming even obsolete. And that can stand in your way. So this is a process of waking up to the influence that the ego stories have had, like, oh, that's my story coming in. Okay. And it's an opportunity to look at the relationships through a new lens. And also, you can ask yourself, is that childhood story that's making my part, is that a childhood story that is making, let's say, my partner respond so strangely, right? Are they being triggered, right? Or am I being trapped by my own ego story? Could be like not enough, or the world is hard, or whatever it might be. When the truth is, I can take a step. I am capable. I can do this. So the point is that the ego is not your enemy. Observe it without judgment. It has served you well. But as you are becoming more aware, you can ask your ego to grow along with you. So this is the super important point. Instead of continuing on as your protector, invite it to become your encourager. I'm going to say that again. Invite your ego to change from your protector to your encourager. Yeah, your supporter of your growth, your coach, your cheering section, Then you can use that potent energy to propel you forward. Consider how amazing that might be as it plays out in your next chapter. So, question for you, and I invite you to write your answers below. What is the best tip you have when relationship tension, which is often ego related, arises? What helps you move forward? Yeah. So, anyway, this is something that you can look at. Be more aware when your ego is rising up to protect you because you're being triggered. Your story is coming in when something seems off. Maybe there's another way of looking at it. Once you see your story, you can invite your ego to change from protector to encourager. So, as always, it's so wonderful to be here together. Thank you so much. I appreciate all your time and attention, and I invite you to try this. Use it. Use it in the next day, in the next week, when a situation arises that you find yourself triggered. You have all the resources inside of you, and that's the wonderful thing. So take care, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.